Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Farm Sim 19. This is Little Norton, episode number 9. We've got that help window turned on this time because, well, we opened this episode with something a little bit specific. And I left the forage wagon behind for it just because even though it adds weight, it does also add a little bit of awkwardness to what we're about to try to do. And that is, we have 289,000 liters of chaff. We need to get this compacted, and this is not going to be easy with the the added realism. It's going to take quite a bit to get this compacted, I think. About 289,000 liters, that is a good amount. We've got the mower on to give us a little added weight to see if we can't get this compacted, but at the moment you could see it's shifting around, but we're still at just 1%. So this is going to take a good long while to get this compacted enough to throw a tarp over it and on it so that we can begin fermenting this grass into making silage so that we can then turn around here in a few days and sell this for a whole lot of money. Trying to think what the... Hey, we're up to 2%. What the exchange rate is. Let's see. And I have stuff in silos, surprisingly. We're going to go over here. Let's see. Icons are very much different with global company on. There you go. There's your silage. 150 at the biogas plant. So $150 per 1,000. So we have 289, or let's round that to 290 times 150. So add a couple zeros to the end, and you're looking at, let's see, 29,000 plus half that, so another 14,500. So yeah, right now we're looking at almost $45,000. So yes, that'll be a nice chunk of change coming back. Now, of course, that doesn't by itself pay for the equipment, the land, and everything, but that's just the first harvest. And $45,000 is a good amount of money coming back our way. So that makes me happy. But at just 3% compactedness, I don't know if it's worth it to try to use that trailer for its extra weight. We're certainly not doing good with the tractor by itself on getting this compacted, though it is starting to get a little bit of a more gentle slope, which is easier for me to get up and down than what we had. 4% now. May want to try the trailer and see what we get out of that, how much quicker it is, and whether I can even go up and over it easily, just because that added realism really makes this job much harder than it is in the base game. Let's go ahead and use time-lapse as we try to get this up to 100%. Alright, there we go. It's blanketed, and we are going to call it a night, and then see you in the morning. It's now fermenting. We're at 1%, so it'll be done in about 3 days, and now that it's late night, so that 3 days, it'll mean that next morning we'll be able to lift the blanket off and start getting it sold. So I've started the next morning with some contract work. Best contract of the day was a second time fertilizing field 25, which I've already completed off camera. So we're going to go ahead and collect the 18,000 for that, and then we're going to get to work on more fertilization, but we're going to do it on our own fields. So the 3 fields that I own, 42, 22, and 10, the level of fertilization you can see is just a level 1 right now. We want to get that up so that when we get our next grass harvest, we'll be able to get the maximum. So we'll open with the area here, the field closest on the BGA. And you got to be really careful about where you go if you're not terribly familiar with the game and how this works. The outer grass, just natural grass areas, I don't get credit for fertilizing those. It's got to be the actual field, the grass field. And you can see just off the edge of my shadow, you can see how there's more of a yellowish tinge to the grass versus the outer just pure green. Kind of wraps around. That's the field edge. So let's go ahead and start hitting that up, and we'll get the job done. And this should be fairly quick. I do like that when it's short like this, it is quite easy to see the boundary of what you've covered and what you haven't covered yet. Just going to get all the way up here to this corner. Though around that tree is very much in the way. So I think for now, based on where I'm at, I'll just keep lining the outer edge of the field. Oops, if I get the whole thing. Missed a small bit there, but that's okay. It's not worth it to come back. So balance up to 44,000. I still need to drop by the shop again and pick up the front loader, which I have not done yet. When we're done with this field, before we head off to the next one, which I definitely should have enough fertilizer to at least get all the way through this field, and probably the next one as well. Doesn't run out terribly fast. We are going to stop by, since we are here at the BGA at the moment, we are going to stop by the bunker and check on the fermenting progress. It's been a half a day. I think a full day should be 33%. So a half a day should be relatively, right around half of that. So we should be about 17% of the way done. Okay, I'm going to go straight on here. And, oh, hey, look, there's our 1 foot space that we had missed. And we caught it, just like that. I do like how quickly we can get this done. I mean, field 25 is rather large. It's the largest one, and it still didn't take that long. It'll definitely be nice when we can upgrade the equipment, get to the triple mower instead of a single mower, get a windrower to make single swaths out of, what is something much wider to begin with, so that when we go through with that forage wagon, we're much more efficient in how we're doing that. Alright, one final pass. Maybe one final pass. We'll see. As we get down there. I think we'll get it. That's right edge. Just beyond the reach there. We did leave a little bit. Okay, just about done here, and voila. Alright, 1 of 3 done. That is our medium, if not large field. It's one of the 2 biggest, so that'll be pretty quick and easy. And let's just pull in here briefly. And let's see what we have here. Oh, I won't show it unless I turn the help menu on. You know what? Never mind. Should be about 17% done. We've got 2.5 days to go. Alright, on to our second field. Okay, this is a tricky intersection. Easy to see the right, hard to see the left. I think we're clear. We were. No collisions. Hooray. Alright, well, we've already done our contract for the day. We will quickly be done with our own personal work for the day, which actually means I'm going to start speeding time up a little bit. We can definitely go faster than this. And then the one thing to do for the day is to buy that front loader. And I might as well just... Actually, I'll just leave it at the shop for now because I still need a bucket. So when we get the bucket tomorrow, then we'll be able to piece that together with what we're doing here. And then that will allow us to transport the silage to the sell point right there at the BGA. It'll be a little back and forth. It's not as close together as you would hope it would be. And those bunkers are far from perfect as well. Those bunkers are a little... I don't know. A lot of grass did escape it. And seems to not be in what ended up getting the coverage of the tarp. So there's definitely some grass that was left in a bit of a less than ideal scenario. And wouldn't be the worst thing ever to actually just purchase a bunker at some point, single bunker, and place it on our grass field right there, or maybe not even on the grass field if we can get it on the BGA parking lot close to the sell point. Then we could just go back up right into it, fill it up, and then it would be very quick and very painless when it came to selling after the fact. And may not take more than a small chunk of our grass, potential grass harvest away. That would be a pretty wise thing to do. Those bunkers, I think, are only about 15,000 or something like that in the shop. So, something to consider. We'll see how it is. How bad it is going back and forth. Bucket capacity is definitely going to be a thing, definitely going to be an issue, and I think it's going to make me want Yeah, that small bucket. I mean, is it going to take 1,000 trips across the street, around the opposite side of the building? That's less than ideal. You do what you can to make the money, but you want efficiency. You definitely want efficiency, and that's just not the most efficient method. Okay. Oh, I missed a spot there, apparently. There we go. Got that. Okay. And here we go. That takes care of this area. Gosh, remember how long this took to mow and gather all that grass? Fertilization part's easy. Should only take another couple of minutes here and we'll be done with field number 2 and the 2 larger fields. Which means field 3 should go pretty quickly. And then we'll be ready to call it a day once we get the that front loader taken care of, which means we'll be on to the final day of spring already. Wow, that's moving along. I mean, that's something not used to having happen in FS. There are so many times and so many scenarios you find yourself in where you're trucking along and just doing a ton of things, yet you've only gone a few days. Woohoo! We're sliding. With no limitations on the speed because the equipment was off. That was a fun scenario. Actually, that was rather enjoyable.